So we need to talk about stimulus in 2025 because reading through the comments, that is what everybody's asking for. They're saying prices keep going up, home prices getting more expensive, food is outright insane, everything is just becoming more and more expensive, yet their job isn't paying anymore. When are we going to see some relief? Well, have a massive relief update that I want to give you in today's video. And we're going to hear from a friend of mine who works from a state representative. And what he has to say, well, it's interesting because I never thought of it like this. But again, I'm going to break this down for you because what he is saying is that President Trump has a timeline. He's sticking to a timeline and he's going to ensure that the House and the Senate follow that exact same timeline. I'll tell you what that is in just a moment. But before we get into the update, I do ask one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy the daily updates. And now let's begin. Okay, so let's talk about the relief that is coming because everybody keeps saying prices are going up. Tariffs are causing prices to go up. Here's the thing. Tariffs on China are in effect. It's 145%. But tariffs on other countries are actually paused for 90 days. This is something that the Trump administration did back on April 9th of 2025, which means on Tuesday, July 8th, that is the 90-day period. That's the end, which means on the 9th of July, that's when tariffs will take effect. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important because of the date. Now, I want to show you a couple things. Look at this one. It says House Speaker pushes for committee tax bill vote next week. Now, right here it says, on schedule, it'll be next week. That's what Speaker Mike Johnson just said. Okay, why? Wow, what's going on? This was just released today, which means next week, so the beginning of May. Okay, what does this mean for relief? What does this mean for the American people? When are we going to see stimulus in 2025? Well, and who's going to receive it? Well, that's what we're going to discuss because, again, according to Speaker Mike Johnson and multiple other lawmakers, they are saying that their goal is to get this bill done by July 4th. Okay? The 4th. That's what President Trump wants. To get the bill through by July 4th. Now, there could be some provisions inside this bill that's going to push more money back to the American people immediately. But, and I want to read what my friend had to say when he sent me this. I thought this was very interesting because I never thought of it this way. Okay? But look at this. I want to show you a few stories first. It says Trump floats income tax cut to ease tariff impact. One of the things that President Trump said is that we need to provide some relief. And what better way than to pretty much eliminate all income taxes for anybody that makes less than $200,000 per year. This is what he said on Truth Social. I talked about this just the other day. It says when tariffs cut in, many people's income taxes will be substantially reduced, maybe even completely eliminated. Okay. Now I asked my friend to explain more about this. Is there more potential deductions coming? Are there more talks of stimulus? Okay. And I want to read you what he said. And then I'm going to go over to ChatGPT, which I already did, and ask ChatGPT to tell us how much money would the average American save if we saw federal income taxes get eliminated. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But listen to this. This is what a friend of mine who works for a state representative had to say. He says, and I quote, President Trump didn't pause tariffs only to give countries time to negotiate. That was part of it. The word around Washington is that he did it more so to give the House and Senate time to get his tax bill through. By getting the bill through, this could potentially ease the pain of tariffs, but also keep in mind that this July 4th date is just an illusion. If the tax cuts don't get extended, then it will hurt financially during the tax season in 2026, which would be the tax season of 2025. Not in July. Same goes for the SALT tax deduction. Enhancing the deduction doesn't change our financial situation in July, but next year. And the same goes for the child tax credit of $2,000 as opposed to $1,000. Okay. Now, here's the reason why this is a big deal. Because President Trump just said, right here, he says when tariffs cut in, many people's income taxes will be substantially reduced, maybe even completely eliminated. So he's positioning this as a way to combat the tariffs. We aren't going to see higher income. Our wages aren't going up as a result of this bill getting passed. No. Now, the taxes are getting reduced, or essentially, the taxes are going to stay as is instead of going up to start of January 1st, 2026. So what my friend's saying is, it's just an illusion. Just because the bill passes in July doesn't mean we're going to see immediate relief. But he also went on to say, I'm not going to read you everything that he wrote, for obviously reasons of I know, but what he's saying is that there could be some form of relief or stimulus. There could be something going to the American people, potentially like a child tax credit payment, okay, where people receive an upfront payment. The immediate relief that we could see, and again, just keep this in mind, it only goes to a handful of people. It goes to people that are getting paid through tips, so service workers. They would receive, they would not have to pay any income taxes on tips, which means that they would receive 100% of their paycheck immediately. That's the immediate relief that's coming. The second one is people that work overtime. No taxes on overtime income, which means no federal income taxes, which means you actually receive more of your paycheck that week, or that bi-weekly or monthly. Whenever you get your paycheck, you receive more. That's good news there. Now the third one, people that are on receiving Social Security benefits. The problem here is that you file your taxes at the end of the year. Some do. And if you file your taxes, those taxes wouldn't, or that income from Social Security wouldn't be taxed. So again, what my friend's saying is, this is an illusion. He's saying that this relief is coming in July, but essentially it's only coming to a handful of people. Okay? I want to show you this though. This is what I asked ChatGPT. You can see the whole conversation right here. I said, to act as a tax expert, if Donald Trump really does eliminate income taxes for anybody making less than $200,000 per year, and I make $65,500 a year, how much money will that save me? Okay, they went through it. Just note here, I did not say I was married, and I did not say I had children. I do that in a moment. But you can see right here, I make $65,000 per year. I'm a single filer taking a standard deduction. Okay, standard deduction in 2024 is $14,600. Probably should have updated it, but you get the idea, right? Taxable income after I take the standard deduction, $51,900. Okay, so this is how much I would pay. And keep in mind, these numbers are based off of 2024. This is exactly what President Trump is trying to ensure they get extended, because these will go back up. Not the 10%, but the 12%, 22%. They go back up if we don't extend the tax cuts. So the first $11,600, there you go. That's how much I am paying in taxes. Okay? Federal income taxes right there. That's how much I would pay. Which means as a single filer, I would save $6,471 a year. That's pretty good. Now, here's where things get interesting. I said also show what it would be since I am married with 2 children. I am married, I actually have 3 children, but the average household is a family of 4. The husband, the wife, or 2 spouses, and 2 children. That's it. Okay. So ChatGPT did it. Said the tax situation significantly changes. Here's why. Married filing jointly means the income is still the same. 2 qualifying children under the age of 17, standard deduction is $29,200. Okay, so you see there's the amount of money. That's my taxable income. Okay, so the amount of money I have right here. Look how much money it is saving me. It says if income tax were fully eliminated, I would have just saved $12. Okay, because current federal income tax liability is already nearly wiped out by the child tax credit. Keep in mind, the child tax credit of $2,000 per child also goes away on January 1st, 2026. That's another reason why they're trying to extend it. All right? So, this right here, it's big. It shows people that are single, right? People that are high income earners. If you make $199,000 and your federal income taxes are eliminated, that's a substantial savings. Okay, substantial savings. But for people that are, that are not making a lot of money, okay, that make $29,000-$30,000, okay, it's not a huge amount of savings, especially if you have a large family. If you're married and have 1 or 2 children, you're not going to save a lot of money. Okay? But here's why I think this is interesting. It says Trump tariffs, when consumers should expect inflation, price hikes to hit wallets. Now this was back on April 9th. This is when this article came out. The reason why I'm showing you this is simple. President Trump on Wednesday, April 9th, announced a 90-day pause on all tariffs outside of China. Here's what happened. The countries are now reaching out to President Trump and the Trump administration and trying to figure out how they can negotiate a lower tariff or nothing at all. According to reports, President Trump said just earlier today that the negotiations with India are going to be announced soon. We don't know what they look like. We don't know what this means, but they'll be announced very soon. Okay, that's great. But here's the thing. The price hikes, that's coming after April or after July 8th. Okay, after that date, we're going to see price hikes from all countries that didn't negotiate better deals. Okay, that's one of the reasons why President Trump wants to ensure that this bill gets passed by July 4th, so that this is already there. We have this bill, it means savings, but the tariffs are coming the following week. Keep in mind what my friend just said. It's an illusion. We're not going to see every single person is going to see their income just shoot up. We're not going to see a huge change immediately. It's going to be when we file our taxes. That's the big change. With that said, who's going to see stimulus in 2025? People that get paid in tips, people that get overtime. Those are the ones that are going to get some type of stimulus. Also, there's still discussions of potentially raising the child tax credit past the $2,000, maybe up to $3,000, maybe even higher. But those discussions are also turning into, well, if we can increase the payment to, let's say, $3,000 for children between the ages of 0 and 5, and let's say $2,000 for children between the ages of 6 and 17, can those payments come out monthly or quarterly? Because then it would help the people throughout the year. So again, that's where the discussions are at. Now, I don't know what's going to be in this bill. They're still trying to get the bill passed, and they're still in the initial stages of it. But again, we are 60 days away? Around 60 days away, 70 days away. We need to get this underway, because if not, Congress takes a long time. So we'll see what happens, but that is what we know as of today. Relief is coming, but it could be a little bit later than we initially thought. So that's where we're at as of today. If you have any questions, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.